Hello, Tab Nation. It's your boy Tom, and welcome to, well, Tab Nation AutoHotkeys. Today we're going to be doing a GUI video. I haven't done one of those in a while, but you all seem to really enjoy them. So we're going to be looking at two things here. We're going to be looking at how to put a GIF into a GUI, and also how to put a video into a GUI. So let's take a look at the code. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the code here because, as you can see here, plus there's another script that's part of this, it's about 3,000 lines of code. We would be here for a very long time, and you really honestly don't need to know how this library works, but shout out to the people who made this for writing almost 3,000 lines of code, so I don't have to. That's awesome. And I will have a link in the description below showing you how to get to this and download it. So let's take a look at our actual code that we're writing. Kind of show you the different options here. So I got some stuff being set up here. Make sure you put #, #, whatever you want to call it, include jdip_all.ihk, which is this code here. Now, if you really wanted to, you could copy and paste this code into here, but it's just a lot easier to use it as a library. If you haven't seen my library video, just definitely check it out. It explains a little better what those are and how that works. So we're going to be using our variable here, file path. You can name it whatever you want, and we're putting the location of our GIF that we're going to be using. You can change that name to whatever you want, or if you want to give the user the ability to choose their own GIF, you can use this right here, which I have commented out, which is just file select. And, they can choose, it'll open up an Explorer and they can pick the actual file path of where they want to use their own GIF. So that's just an option. For the most part, I think most people are going to default with the specific GIF for their GUI. Got a few things here. Once again, not really going over that. The only thing we're going to be going over here is kind of like the GUI here. So let's go ahead and actually play this so you get a better understanding. There it is. And so here's our little GIF here. And I'm going to click on the picture, it's going to play. I'm going to click on the picture, and it's going to pause. So how do we do that? Well, under the picture here, we put G for go, play pause, which is going to jump down to here. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. Once again, I'm not going through all that, and it's also used in the library. And just make sure here you put GIF1, whatever you want to call it, and then new GIF, file path, so it knows where to go to, and we're going to be using HWND, and then we're going to label it GIF1. So just make sure you add that line. This is something you're not used to probably when you're using GIFs, so just make sure that is there. And then here's the file path also right here. So just make sure that if you change this variable to something else, that you also change it in these two spots. Now, there's a few options we could do here. Let's, for example, say we wanted a button. We don't want it to play up here. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to uncomment this. And this is just a button, and it has that same G, play, pause. So let's take a look at that. Whoops. Wrong button. Sorry, it's a little hard to see my keyboard when my microphone's in the way. So now, as you see, I can't click on the picture anymore. And now we have this little button that says Happy New Year's. We're going to push that. And so we just made it change the text to make it a little fancier. It's playing. I'm going to push pause, and it paused. Now, let's say we want it to just autoplay. So we're going to get rid of this button here. We just solely want the picture. That's fine. Right down here, we can do two things. We can put a go to, so we can have go to play pause, which will go down here. Now, the only reason I'm showing you a go-to is because maybe you have a bunch of text or a code in between and you have this just somewhere else in your script versus being with the GUI. That's fine. So you might want to use a go-to. But if this is all you got, you can literally just delete all this and have it do that. Technically, you don't even need this handler here either. And so when I launch it now, it's going to autoplay. But since I don't have that go or that button, I can't pause it. So you can kind of mix and match the different styles depending on what you want. I'm going to leave all this in here for the code just so you can see it. That way, if you want to mix and match, you got all the code ready here for you. Next thing we're going to do is video. Let me close out of that. So video is so much more simpler. With this, we need that library that's almost 3,000 lines of code, plus our like 300 lines of code in our actual script. But this is all you really need for a video. Is, even this you might not even want. So we're doing the same thing here. File select. Do you want them to pick the video that they want to play? I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to hardwire the path I want. So we're just going to play my intro, which you just saw at the beginning of this video. If error level, meaning basically maybe this was moved, it doesn't exist, it's the wrong format, something like that, it's just going to close out the app. You might want to put a message box here that just says something like, could not find file, please check path, or that it exists, or it's named correctly, whatever you want to do if it can't find it. But it found it, so we're going to display it in a GUI. So I'm just using last found. That just means if I were to have a hotkey here, which I'm not using, and opened it again, it would go to wherever the player's last known position was. So you don't really need this if you don't want it. I'm just going to leave it there, even though I'm not technically using it in this script, but you might. So now we're going to use ActiveX. This is made by Microsoft. If you want to know more, definitely Google that. I'll be doing a video later on diving a lot more in depth to this kind of stuff. But for now, we're just going to tell you to put it there. Width and height. You can delete this, it'll automatically format to the correct size for the video, but we're going to keep it at 600/400. We don't want it to be too big. And we're going to do our value WMP. So we're using Windows Media Player here. So that's what this is, Windows Media Player.ocx. Make sure you add this line to your GUI somewhere, WMP.url, and then file, that file path up here, so it knows where to really play it. And this is the title of our GUI. So we're just saying Windows Media Player in GUI. Name it whatever you want. That's basically what's going to be displayed in the title bar at the top. And then GUI close, that just means when you push that X, it's just going to close out the whole script. We're done. We don't need to watch anything more. So yeah, video is a lot easier than a GIF for sure. So let's go ahead and play our video here. So I'm going to double click, and it's going to connect, and it's just going to autoplay. So there you go. And if you want, you can push play, and it'll just play it all over again. So we got some very basic controls here. We got the seek bar, we got volume control, next, previous, which wouldn't really work in this situation, and stop and play, which when you push play, you can pause. So yeah, video is definitely a lot easier. So yeah, that was just a quick video on how to do a GUI with video or GIF. If you have any questions or want me to expand on this in any way, definitely let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you've subscribed because I'm doing 2 videos every week for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. See you on the next one.